start the recording then in
Heaven help us.
3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to, episode 6 of With Disadvantage. I'm your host and DM, Chev. With me today, we've got a full crew today. We're only missing Deranged and Codeman, but we also have one extra one we'll introduce last here. But let's go through the list of recurring characters here first. We'll start with you, Lulu. Want to introduce yourself?
I have Skittles.
That's good.
Hi, I'm Bunsen. I play Lulu. Same book, basically slime person. Barbarian.
Sweet. Shenanigans.
Hi, I'm Shenanigans. I'm also Rainbow, and I'm Razzmatazz, and I play Druid.
Okay.
And if you'd like to sponsor this by sending us booze, please go ahead and contact Chef.
That's your motto now, huh? Every episode?
Okay.
Just booze all the time.
Just every single time he's hoping that some sponsor is going to send us all free booze.
Send us alcohol. Yes, please.
Alright, have a beer?
I'm Hava Beer, the hammer, the Triton terror, death from the deep, and I will have my vengeance.
I love
Bullier of gnomes.
it. Bullier of gnomes.
Bullier
Have
of
a beer, bullier of gnomes.
So enjoy bullying gnomes in my spare time.
Oh my god.
Alright, Furlough.
I am Boris. I play the rogue Furlough Stamkins. And just like Furlough, I hate people.
Yeah, for some reason you choose to continually hang out with them. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Alright, and then...
He might be a sadomasochist or something.
Alright, Sakaputo.
Well, you see, unfortunately, it's like a train wreck. You don't want to stare at it, but you can't help but sit there and watch it.
Alright, Sakapunto.
Okay, my name is Mirama. I play the bugbear monk, Sakapuno. He likes to punch and he can sing.
Awesome. Alright, and then we have Freya with us today, who was here present in the prologue, but then she's been mysteriously absent since. Welcome. You want to introduce yourself and your character?
Sure, yeah. My name is Dakota and I play Freya, the rogue blood hunter. And yeah, I'm excited to see what happened to her while we've been gone.
Awesome. Okay, so we'll just drop right in. Let's do a little recap of last time, though. You guys trekked up north and defeated one of the pylons up there that you guys have discovered. Freya, you don't know anything about that as of yet, so you will have to ask your party members about what they've been up to when you get to them. And likewise, they'll have to ask you about what's happened to you. You guys took down one of the pylons, made your way back to the little shelter up in the Arctic, and then I think from there we teleported out of there using the rings, and that's where we left off. You guys fought a bunch of Yetis last time, which was fun. You felled them just in time. I think a couple people got knocked out. Had to revive them. And so anyway, I think we were headed back to the lab, am I right? Does anybody remember?
I think we got to the lab, and also I had like a dream, and I learned how to turn into like a dragon.
You wish. Alright. Okay, so
I think I got like bonus HP of like 20.
Alright, so you guys just finished teleporting, and I think in the meantime we'll kind of just sidestep and go over to find out what happened to Freya a while back. Alright, so Freya, you helped escort the cart with the group. Gundren had asked all of you to participate in escorting this cart. You remember you were with Raz, right? You do not remember anything about what has happened to Raz since then, I don't think. But you were helping escort the cart and went ahead with Gundren and Raz on the first iteration here in the... Well, you aren't aware of the time loop here. So, okay, so you have been in the Black Spider's custody this whole time, so it's pretty hard for you to know, what's been going on outside, but you have been privy to quite a few conversations in one of the Black Spider's many prisons around the landscape. And you were able to escape. Have you thought of how you escaped, Freya?
I have not, but I assume that I did some trickery and schmoozed him over with my plus 20 million charisma of some sort. I don't know.
Well,
Alright,
she
so-
had like a stick of gum and a toothpick and a clippers, and she made a gun out of it, like a MacGyver.
Ooh, yeah, I MacGyvered. I MacGyvered my way out of it.
Alright,
Yes,
so
exactly.
you've been trapped in this dungeon for a long time, because the very first time you were escorting the cart, you fell through a rift that you didn't expect to fall through, and you found yourself in the Black Spider's custody. His minions took you to a cell and put you there and tried to ask you questions. You stand out as far as the people in the Sword Coast are concerned, and so he wanted to make sure that you didn't know anything. So you haven't actually seen the Black Spider himself, just his minions. You were interrogated by one of his higher ranked officials, this giant, huge orc dude that kind of sees over a bunch of the prisons in the area. He would show up periodically. And over time through his interrogations, you eventually were able to. He realized that you knew nothing, and so kind of had a little bit of pity for you. And eventually, you were able to talk your way out of his clutches. And he let you escape and just kind of pointed you in a direction and wished you luck because there's a bunch of portals in this area that they were aware of, and by portals I just mean rifts that have randomly opened up. People tend to take notice of where these rifts form. They tend to be long-lived. Sometimes they are short-lived, but any stable rifts are, the people are aware of them for a while at least until they finally disappear. You were able to find the one that you came through, and you popped back out, and you now find yourself wandering around the Sword Coast. You've been back to Neverwinter, the town of Neverwinter. So you've wandered back to that town. You've been back and forth asking people where you saw, if anyone's seen your party that you're with, and you made your way even all the way back to Phandalin, which is where you are now. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the map here for Phandalin. As you get to Phandalin,
While you're doing that, I have a question. Did I ever meet Freya as Shenanigans?
no, you have not. So Freya has not known you guys basically since your initial quest. And so Freya has found herself free from being held by the Black Spider's minions, and she's wandering through Phandalin. And you immediately notice that the town is bustling when you get there, and there's smoke coming up on the horizon as you approach into town. So I'm gonna just let you pick up from there and see what your goal basically coming here is to still find your friends that you were to try and get paid for the delivery if you can, and if not, at least find out what's going on and what's happened.
Is there anybody around me that I can see, or is it just mainly landscape?
Yeah. So do you see the map?
Yes. I
Okay.
see my token.
Okay, so you're approaching town from the north. As you come down this hill, this muddy road. It just rained a little bit recently, so everything's a little bit wet, and the road is a little bit muddy. And so as you come down, there's people are pushing wagons through the town. It's pretty busy. Lots of people doing lots of stuff. People going in and out of Barthen's Provisions to get supplies. If you look down further into town this way, you can see it's pretty busy in the town center. Lots of people down there. You catch just lots of families walking around, some elderly people just hanging out, sitting on benches. People are hauling supplies, from the stores to their homes, and just kind of going about their daily business. But you also notice when you look this direction that there is a bunch of smoke going up into the air.
Knowing my friends, I'm probably gonna go towards the smoke and see maybe if they've caused something like a fire or something, or like explosion. I'm pretty sure Raz has done something.
Okay, so you make your way into town, and as you go through town, you notice people giving you very strange looks. Dragonborn are not common in this area. In fact, a lot of people regard them as mythical beings. And so, but you look kind of scary, so most of them seem to avoid you. As you get into the center of town, you're cutting a little swath through the people as they try to keep a wide berth around you, and you're able to make your way easily. Do you stop and do anything on the way? Do you care about the way people are reacting to you?
No, not really.
Okay. All right, so it takes about 20 minutes to walk all the way through town. And as you approach this part of town, you're able to see that this building over here, the Sleeping Giant, well, what used to be the Sleeping Giant, is now a pile of burning cinders. And there are a bunch of people kind of rummaging through it, trying to clean up the area. There's a wagon that's pulled in with a bunch of lumber, and it looks like they're trying to rebuild. The lumber looks kind of crappy, even the wagon looks kind of run down, but they're doing their best.
And does there look like there's somebody in charge that I can see?
Yeah, so there's this little old dwarf guy, and he's kind of standing off to the side right about here. And he's just kind of overseeing everything, watching over the construction, and he's kind of barking orders at people. And he's like, put the lumber over there, move the cart out of the way. We've got more coming. Come on now.
I'm gonna go up to him, and see if he'll allow me to approach him, so I can ask him a few questions.
Okay. All right. So you walk up to him. That's that all you're doing? Do you say anything?
Yeah. Does he let me walk up to him?
Yeah, he's just standing there, so he doesn't really notice you at first. He's kind of looking off this direction, and you coming from his side, so he can kind of sense your presence maybe, but probably doesn't realize that you stand out so much.
I'm just gonna tap on his shoulder and say, "Do you know how this whole thing started?"
So you tap on his shoulder and you start to talk, and he's like, whoa, you scared me there. What? Well, I've never seen anything like you before. He's just kind of looking at you in awe, like he didn't even hear what you said.
Yes, I'm aware, but can you tell me what happened?
What do you mean? To the Sleeping Giant? To the tap
Yes.
house? Well, a really hot band came through town, and apparently they thought they could just burn down our little tap house at the end of the day.
A hot band? What do you mean?
Yeah, they came to Phandalin, and they really rocked this town.
Like an instrumental band?
Yeah, they were the talk of the town. They're the talk of the region. We don't know where they are now, but they headed west somewhere, east somewhere. But they really put on a show at the Stonehill Inn.
Can you describe some of maybe the races of the band members?
Well, I don't recall all of them, but one of them stood out quite a bit. In fact, she busted through my home over here. You see, he points behind you over here, and there's his window is all busted out. This is his house over here, and you can see the window is all busted out. And he says she was a quite adorable some blue lady. I was quite upset at her busting my window, but she offered me gold, so it was okay.
Was she a lady or was she kind of slimy?
Quite slimy, yes.
Okay. Do you happen to know if there was a very handsome, tall Triton in this party as well?
Triton. The tall blue man, yes.
Yes.
Webbed fingers?
That would be him.
Yes, definitely webbed fingers. They all stand out like a sore thumb.
Okay, and which way did you say that they went?
They went off east. Some people say they went to the old mansion, but I don't know why they would go there.
The old mansion. Okay, so if I just head east, will I be able to get to the old mansion?
Yeah, so let me sync your view with mine in case you can't see, but if you look over to the right,
Oh,
you
there
can
we go.
see the
Okay.
mansion on the hill.
All right. Thank you very much for the information, sir. I'll talk to you later. And then I head towards the mansion.
Okay. It takes probably about an hour to get up there, especially since it's kind of light sprinkling and everything's muddy, and this road is super washed out. Everyone's kind of still just looking at you as you go through the edge of town, but everyone kind of breathes a sigh of relief as you leave. They're afraid of more shenanigans going on from weird characters entering town. And
No
not to
fun.
mention actual shenanigans. Alright, so you make your way up the
Who's
road pretty...
shenanigan?
Rainbow.
No, I don't know that.
Oh, I know, but you're not talking to anybody. I'm talking as the DM, so...
Freya has the ability to hear the DM, but everyone thinks she's just crazy.
Yes, please.
All right, so you approach the mansion. You can actually see the whole front half in this circle is all flattened. It's all on the ground. It's kind of collapsed, but the back half is still intact. And you are right there. Okay, so you are able to see some clear footprints. Everything's getting washed out and muddy, but over here you're able to see just a few footprints as they make their way around this building here, going that way.
I'm just gonna follow him, but I'm going to take out my rapier just in case.
Okay. you equip your rapier and you keep walking through the building. You can see that a bunch of the debris has kind of been pushed aside and scuffled around. There's a door that's open here that's looks like it's been forced open. And there's some sort of contraption connected to it that's just laying on the ground. And as you approach the doorway, you can see inside there's a weird computer terminal in the back right corner, and a bed and a bookshelf. The computer terminal is off. There's nothing on the screen. Freya probably doesn't recognize what a computer terminal is, but it definitely would stand out compared to what she does know exists.
I'm gonna go up to the computer
Okay.
and see if I can like press buttons to make it do something.
Okay. So you go up to it, and it's got what you as a player know as a standard keyboard, so lots of keys. Do you press a particular one, or do you smear your hands across it, or?
I'm gonna press the long one on the bottom.
Okay. All right. So you press the button, and you just kind of hear boop, but nothing happens.
I'm gonna press one of the bigger side ones, like
Okay.
me as a player, either like backspace or enter.
Okay. So you press backspace and enter, and then you press a few more keys around there. Some of them you hear little boops, some of them you hear nothing, but you don't ever see anything.
Okay, so now I'm just gonna smear my hand all over the keyboard.
Okay, so you hear as the computer's kind of freaking out, just lots of beeps and shit, and but you don't see anything. And then
Did
you
you just make that sound one more time?
But then as you press too many keys, it just kind of does that like you've pressed too much shit sound.
I'm just gonna give it a little tap on the top of it.
Okay, you tap it, nothing happens.
All right, I'm gonna look somewhere else into the room. I don't know how to figure this thing out.
All right, so you leave the room. There's really nowhere else to go. Everything else of this place is pretty much destroyed, but you do see very faint footprints leading out this direction, out north, out the side of this building that's collapsed.
All right, let's head that way.
Okay, so you follow the footprints, and they lead you all the way down, and you find a stairwell in the back.
Ooh, I'm gonna go down the stairwell.
Okay, so you go down the stairwell, and there is a door down there that is wide open.
Is it dark?
So inside the doorway in the basement it's dark. Outside it's still daytime.
Okay. So before I go into the place, even though I have dark vision, I'm still just gonna light a torch to like let people know that
Okay.
I'm there.
Do you have dark vision? Okay.
Wait, where do I see if I have dark vision?
I'm pulling up your sheet now. It would be under additional senses. No, it doesn't look like you have dark vision. I think you're thinking of your old character.
Oh, you're right. Okay, then I just light a torch.
Okay. All right, so you light a torch and you step into the basement. There's a bunch of dusty old crates on your left as you walk in. And they're just kind of, you can see that they've been disturbed a little bit, kind of rummaged through. It looks like recently, given the disturbance of the dust. But you can also see over on the right, there is a circle on the floor. It's basically like a sidewalk crack in the floor, but in the shape of a perfect circle.
Oh, geez. I very hesitantly step inside the circle.
Okay. All right, you step inside the circle and nothing happens.
I jump a little bit.
You jump, okay. All right, so you jump up and down, and you kind of hear a clunk underneath your feet, but nothing happens.
Does it sound like it's a door that I'm stepping on?
It could sound like a door, but it doesn't really feel like one. Like, it could sound like it's some sort of platform sitting on top on top of something else. Maybe a hatch, maybe not.
Okay, so I go to the perimeter of the circle and I start like trying to brush it to see if I can find a latch or something.
Okay. So you're looking around the perimeter of the circle and trying to find something that you can grab onto, but you don't find anything. It's a perfect circle in the floor. And the crack's not super big. You can barely stick your finger in it.
Do I see anything else in the room? I'm just going to start looking around.
Just the dusty old crates on the other side of the basement. The rest of the basement this way is kind of collapsed. So it's kind of, there's a bunch of rubble and stuff.
Okay, and the footprints, do they just disappear here?
Yeah, so the footprints led up to the stairwell. Then there's not really any footprints going down the stairwell because it's made as like a sort of like a cobblestone stairwell. And then as you get into the basement, you can see the dust on the floor of the basement has been disturbed, because a lot of the basement looks undisturbed where nobody's walked, but there's definitely some dusty footprints around, and the crates have some dusty marks on them.
Oh crap! I don't know. I'm probably gonna start like feeling around the walls to
Okay.
see if maybe it's kind of like a trap, like one of those bookshelf things.
Roll an investigation check for me. Perfect. Okay, so you start feeling around the wall, and you notice that on the wall, just behind the circle on the kind of northeastern wall there, there's a little conduit that's kind of coming out of the floor and goes up the wall and then into the ceiling, the subfloor.
Okay. Is it big enough for me to climb into it?
No, I should be more clear. The conduit is like small, like a wire is going through it.
Okay. Is there a way that I could like follow it up to the upstairs?
Yeah, so you see it goes into the floor. You can't. The floor is just wood slats, and so you can't really see through it. But it might be easy to see where it pops out on the other side. So if you were to go back upstairs, you might be able to see where it comes out of.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go upstairs and see if I can track down where it's going to.
Okay, so you go back out. You come back around. And you can see this area of the house is really just kind of a cluttered mess. So it hasn't crashed through the floor into the basement, but it has definitely collapsed upon itself. So the wall you need to get to is back here, but it's behind some rubble, so you'd have to move some stuff.
Okay, I just start moving some of the stuff to get it out of my way.
Okay, it takes about 15 minutes for you to get through all the stuff. And then you get to the back, you just throw a bunch of wood and wet wood and just garbage and stuff that's been accumulating at this old mansion site for a long time. You kind of throw that out of the way, and then on the back you notice the little conduit coming out of the floor, and then it does an elbow 90 degrees and heads this way and disappears into the wall right there. There we go.
That doesn't help me at all.
It does.
Does it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, I only know that it's coming up the wall in that like front corner, right? Not that it's coming like back into the wall.
So from where you are, from right here, from the end of the beginning of my arrow, it comes out of the floor from the basement where you saw it go up, and then it runs along the wall and then goes into a wall. This arrow right now is a wall that goes down the middle of the house right there. And so this conduit goes into this wall, into the wall, and on the other side of that wall, you recall, is the room you were in.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm gonna go back into that room.
Okay.
Just keep following it.
As you come into this room, you notice this time that there's a bookshelf that's lined on the wall this way. So there's a little bookshelf there. There's a bed about right here, and then the computer terminal is over here. And you notice the little tiny conduit just kind of pops out the side of the bookshelf right over here, runs along the wall, and goes behind the nightstand thing that the computer is sitting on.
Okay, can I move the like computer and nightstand?
Yeah, so you pull out the nightstand away from the wall, and you notice the conduit ends, and just a little wire pops out and runs into the back of this computer terminal. You notice that it runs into this little square computer thing, square thing on the back of the nightstand, and then there's also another cord kind of just dangling and hanging over the top of this thing, not plugged in. That cord comes from the computer monitor up top.
Do I like the first cord, are there like do I see any buttons or anything that I can press?
No, so here, I'll help you out a little bit. Let's pull up this map over here. Okay, so the conduit runs like along the wall like this, and then there's a nightstand over here like this, and the computer monitor is up on top here. That's the keyboard, and then there's the monitor, just like that. And then there is a small box on the back of the desk like this, and the conduit runs up to here, and then a cord kind of runs into that box, and then another cord comes down from atop the nightstand and is just dangling over and hanging over that box.
Okay. Do I see, so the end of that cord that's dangling, do I see somewhere for it to like be plugged into the like monitor or anything?
So as you can examine that box further, and as you look, you notice on the other side there are several ports that look like that cord would fit into.
I'm just gonna go from left to right and just try all of them and see if something happens.
Okay, so you plug this cord into one of the ports on this side of the computer. The first one you plug it into, suddenly the room fills with light.
Oh shit.
Just it was dark in this room, and now there's a light emanating from atop the dresser.
I'm gonna take it out.
Take the cord
It
out.
scared me.
Okay,
Yep.
you can take the cord out, and then the room goes dark again.
Okay, so I'm gonna plug it into the next port.
Okay, and it lights back up again.
I'm gonna take it right out.
Okay, it goes dark again.
I'm gonna go to the very last one
Okay,
and plug it in.
There are only 3, and so yeah, so
Oh,
you plug it in, and it lights up again. You can see light is emanating from atop the dresser, just kind of filling the rest of this room.
Okay. Can I see that there's something on the screen other than just light?
No, because you're behind the dresser.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay. I'll move in front of the dresser.
Okay. All right, so you come around, you look at the screen, and you see that it's got this giant menu display that fills the whole screen. The screen's big enough to show like lots of things if it was a traditional computer, but instead, for some reason, there's this big user interface on it that just has 3 options. And the one that it has selected is Toro Platform 14. And there are 2 other options you can see on the screen. Toro Platform 13 and Tanith Platform 1.
Okay, so I'm just gonna leave the selection where it is now.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna hit the backspace key again.
Okay. You hit the backspace key, and you just hear a and then nothing happens.
I'm gonna hit the space bar.
Okay. You hit the space bar, and then suddenly the row that's selected, it lights up.
Is doing anything else?
No. Just kind of lights
I'm
up
gonna
like
hit
it's
it again.
highlighted. Okay, you hit it again, and then from downstairs, all of a sudden you hear super loud. The house vibrates. Dust is falling off the ceiling. A little bit of debris kind of just falls off the bookshelf next to you and hits the floor. And then you hear. That's it.
I'm gonna press it again.
Same thing happens. Something's going on downstairs whenever you hit that button.
So since like half of the mansion is smashed, is there a way that I can like look over the ledge and see what's happening down there?
No, so the floor to the basement is still intact. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, so you had to basically go around the outside to get into the basement.
Okay. I'm gonna press the space bar and then I'm gonna run really, really fast down the stairs.
Okay. You press the space bar, you run all the way around outside down the stairs, you're hearing the sounds going on, you get in there, and you get just in time to watch this pillar of rings that has come out of the floor. And they're all these rings are stacked on top of each other. And you watch, and there's nothing inside the rings, but then all of a sudden this flash of light goes through the center of the rings.
I'm gonna jump into it.
You can't. The rings are blocking your way. But as the flash of light occurs, suddenly you find yourself face to face with a pink slime person.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's you, Shenanigans. You find yourself, you briefly appeared in the lab, and then the rings activated again, and you appeared in this basement, and you're now staring face to face with Freya.
Who the hell are you?
Rainbow still there?
Who are you?
God damn it! Oh my god. That was way loud in my headset. I'm sorry. I'm Freya. Who the hell are you?
I'm Shenanigans. I don't know who you are.
Oh my gosh.
Rainbow, Shenanigans, as you're talking to her, suddenly you see from behind her your little fairy friend perch on her shoulder and just says, "Raz, who is this?"
I'm gonna look at I'm gonna say, I don't know who this is.
Freya, you don't
Who the
see.
fuck you talking
don't
to?
see the free. Okay, you already know.
Hello. Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to the Glitters.
Who is Glitters? Have you lost your mind?
She can't see me. How many times do I have to tell you that? Oh, she's too dumb too?
I am not dumb.
Well, I gotta go. Either you're gonna stay here or you're gonna come with me. I don't know who you are, so.
Well, I'm just trying to find my friends.
All right, well, pick one. Stay here or go with me.
Well, where are you going? I can't just go with you. I don't even know you.
Some kind of science lab.
Some kind of science lab. Are you
Yeah,
with
where my
anybody
friends
or
are.
are you just by yourself?
I'm with a large group of people.
Does one of them happen to be a blue slime like you?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna follow you.
So what do you do, Shenanigans?
Once she gets on that platform, I'm gonna hit the button again.
Okay, so I assume you step on the platform with him, Freya?
Yes, I'm gonna follow him.
Okay.
Well, her.
And then you pull out your little hand device you found, right, Shenanigans?
Yep.
Okay, and you hit the little crystal on the back, and then all of a sudden the rings pop out again. They build up around you, Freya. You watch all these rings stack up around you, and you two are kind of just trapped in the middle of like this kind of 2.5-foot ring area. And this white light surrounds you, and then suddenly you find yourself in a different pillar of rings inside this laboratory. Get you guys
I'm gonna
on
assume
the
that
right sheet
Glitters
here.
was on Freya's shoulder.
Yeah, so Glitters so far seems to always be able to find you no matter where you are. Alright,
That's nifty.
so you guys should be able to see yourselves in the lab here. And now, so you guys all just finished transporting from the little safe house in the Arctic, and you guys find yourselves back in the lab here. Fitz is here, and just as you guys arrive, so you guys are still kind of pouring in because you had to do multiple trips. Shenanigans, I think you were one of the first ones to go through, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as I come in, I'm gonna go. I found this lizard folk walking around.
So suddenly you guys get there, you're all like, "Where's Shenanigans?" And then suddenly he shows up, and now there's this big dragonborn with him. Some of you remember her.
I see Sakapuno and I run to Sakapuno saying, "I found you!"
I'm gonna look at Sakapuno and I'm gonna say, "Do you know this lizard folk?"
Sakapuno holds his big furry arms out and says, "Lizard lady!"
Who's this?
Fitz immediately jumps back and he just says, "Now who is this? We're just constantly adding people to this group.
Who the hell are you?
I'm
We
Fitz."
added some new people.
This is Freya. She's one of our old companions. Freya, we meet again.
You vouch for her?
Not necessarily.
She
I
could be
haven't
a
seen her
minion
doing-
of the Black Spider.
Oh, I doubt that very much.
I
She's,
am not.
He doesn't have the capabilities.
So you say she's your friend. Where have you
Shut
been
up,
this whole
Carlo.
time?
That is actually something I'm wondering as well.
What are you wondering?
Where have you
Where
been this
have
whole
you
time?
been?
If you're their friend, why
Okay.
haven't you been with them?
Because
you
I
are
was
gonna have to
captured.
ease up just a little bit.
Are you talking to Fitz?
Yes.
Roll an intimidation check.
What did he say to Fitz? You got to speak up a little bit. Is that what he said?
Oh, you said
No,
to
I
call-
said you're going
ease
to
up
have
a
to
little
ease
bit.
up a little bit.
Oh, I think he said you got to speak up a little bit. And I was like, well, that doesn't make much sense.
All right, hold on just a second. I've got like maps in the way. I don't have dual monitor, so it's kind of to like get to this little thing. Let's see.
Boo-hoo.
Once you roll that intimidation, I want to do something as well.
Boo.
I love you, Boris.
I want to assist whatever Lulu's going to be doing.
9 plus, I think 2 is my modifier. Or no.
Well, it
you
did
know
plus
what?
5.
Not-
9 plus 5, 14.
Oh, 14. Okay, there we
Okay,
go.
so-
Forget.
So
that
you
it
you,
does
you
it.
glare at him, and then after he suddenly has flashbacks to the Arctic, and he kind of just shuts
I-
up for a minute.
Hang on. I would like to roll. I would like to intimidate Avabir and say to Avabir, "You better watch yourself, Mister."
I said
I say,
ease
"Yeah,
up a
that's
little
right."
bit.
Can
I'm
I?
going to assist Lulu and go, yeah, that's right.
Oh gosh, how am I the bad guy here? Okay.
Can I roll
I
intimidation?
just look at Havavir and say, "What did you do to this poor guy?"
Chev.
I roughed him up just a little bit, and everybody is overreacting.
What'd you ask me, Bunsen?
I'm trying to intimidate Avabir, saying that he should ease up on Fitz.
I was like,
Oh,
yeah,
well,
that's right. I'm
I
going to assist
didn't.
her.
I didn't think to have you roll since it's another player. So just like, what do you do? What do you say?
I just intimidate him, saying like, trying to make sure that he doesn't fuck up Fitz any more than he already has.
Yeah, dude, you're not
So,
gonna intimidate.
When
Got a
you
lucky
try
shot at it.
to convince or intimidate it, I actually decided if you're doing that to a party member, I'm gonna let the party member decide whether you should roll because they're the ones that they're gonna be able to decide what a roll even means or if you should roll. I think if it's their own character. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
Havabir, if you think that you might be convinced, depending on how well, she says something or intimidated, then you can call for the roll.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna tighten my grip on my hammer, and it's like I let you have the last one. You're not getting another one. The first one comes free. The next one you're gonna pay a high price.
By the way, Freya, if you're confused by anything, just ask in character about what's happening or what's going on.
So,
Yeah.
Bunsen, do you actually say? Or sorry, does Lulu actually say anything?
Yeah, Lulu said that you better ease off.
I have.
I just kind of glare at Avabir a bit, not sure if I trust that he's gonna be nice to Fitz.
Fitz slowly slips around through Shenanigans, Sakapunto, and then by Freya. And then he comes over and he stands next to Lulu.
I hold his hand.
You hold his hand.
Still glaring at Avabir.
Alright, you grab his hand, he awkwardly takes your hand, and then he kind of embraces it. He's just like, at first he's like, what? Oh, okay. And then he's holding your hand.
So I'm gonna shoot him a glance, and then I'm gonna look back to Freya and say, "So, fill us in. Where have you been?"
Wait, how did I get captured again?
You were captured when you fell through a rift while escorting the cart with Gundren. So you went ahead to try to find Gundren. And then
Oh, right, okay.
you and Gundren
Okay.
both fell through a rift. And I should tell you that you were split up from Gundren for a long time, but you could hear him and Sildar, what you pretty much are pretty sure is him and Sildar's screams.
Gotcha, okay. Javier, that's a long and painful story. I don't know if we can waste time talking about that right now, or if we have a mission that we need to do to get us out of here.
It's
So
Would
I'm
probably
gonna-
Freya
fine,
be?
too.
Hold on. Would Freya be aware? She's not aware of the time loop, right?
No.
Right.
And that's a very good thing to bring up.
So
Okay,
I'm
well-
gonna cast Stacy on Fritz and clean up his clothes, make him, nice new outfit, nice and clean.
Okay. You cast prestidigitation, and suddenly a little wave of air washes over Fitz, and his whole outfit is now clean and pristine. And he's like, "Oh, wow, thank you."
Ah, you're welcome.
I'm gonna turn to Freya and just tell her our dear little friend over there is trying to help us undo something catastrophic.
Well, what happened?
Yeah, basically the whole planet blew up, and actually multiple planets blew up. Really quite the sight. You should have been there.
So, question: you're their friend. Do you remember repeating things that already happened?
No.
Interesting.
I was locked
Well-
away in a cave for a while, so I don't really remember much, but there wasn't really any repeating.
Well, as far as I can tell, Bandolin is populated with the same faces that we saw the first time that we passed through, and I don't think any of them have any recollection of deja vu.
Well,
Do you
except
think
for
it's
that bar.
Yeah, I saw some cleanup crews working on a place that a band set on fire, like an instrumental band. They said that you guys were playing instruments and basically set it on fire, so now they're having to rebuild it.
Kairon immediately pipes up and he says, "We tried to help them put out the fire."
Yeah, I just washed my hands of that one.
And
So-
Zurok steps forth and he says, "Automatic mode disengaged. Fire suppression failed. Automatic mode re-engaged."
Okay, Fitz, at the risk of sounding repetitive, what do we do now?
Well, I would like to go check on Tanith. I don't really know what else to do.
I speak up and say, "That sounds like a good idea. Everyone in favor?"
Was
Yeah,
that the
boys.
planet that we went to the first time?
Erlo, you pretend to be smart. Do you think that's what we should do, or do you have other ideas?
I don't pretend to be jack shit, fish boy.
Fish boy.
What we need to do ultimately is figure out what is causing that energy transfer. How do we stop shit from blowing up?
Whoa, stopping shit from blowing up. You just blew my mind. I think that's a great idea. No shit, Sherlock. How do we do that? What's the next step?
Tanith Station was constructed to siphon energy from the bodies below. I think the pylons are somehow related to that process.
So, is it your opinion that we should go on, continue to destroy pylons? We destroyed the first one. I don't remember anybody really being super confident that that was the right way to go.
The problem
mean-
is we don't even understand this technology, and that's what we need to do. Is we need to understand what we're actually dealing with. Do we think we will have a better chance at that on one of the stations, or do you think we'll have a better chance of that on the ground dealing with the pylon issue?
I think we should check out Tanith Station.
Well,
Fitz, is
the
there
stasis
somebody we
integrity
can
field
speak to?
was failing. I stabilized it, but it was failing. If the pylons had any effect on Tanith, we should find that out.
Is there somebody we can speak to who isn't hostile, who knows a little bit more about this than you do?
I don't know anybody who knows more about this than I do. I was brought on to maintain the stations. They keep all their information compartmentalized. The left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing, so that nobody can be captured.
Is there anywhere that the information itself is stored, independent of an individual?
All I can guess is that the Black Spider's lair has to be that giant structure in the middle of the solar system.
You mean the sun?
Oh.
No, not the sun.
Anyway, we should probably get going over to Tanith.
Do you agree with that, Fitz?
I would already be teleporting there if I wasn't terrified that you were going to hit me with that sword.
Wait a minute, isn't it your planet, Fitz?
Tanith is the station in orbit around this
Oh,
planet.
okay. Alright, let's go
Fitz,
there then.
I have to admit I have been tempted to kill you in the past, but that temptation is subsiding because I feel like you're being forthcoming, so you don't have to worry about any more sword strokes, at least for the next couple hours.
Okay, he steps on the platform and hits the button.
Sword strokes.
Shenanigans, Zurok, since he happens to be standing there, and Fitz all teleport. Do you jump in there too then before the rings come up, Havabeer?
Sure.
Is that what you're doing? Okay. You guys all find yourself up on Tanith Station again. Do the rest of you follow?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. We'll just to make things quick. We'll let me get everybody up to the. I'm just gonna make you skip to the control room. Okay. So Freya, you are mesmerized by this giant green station that you guys are walking through. These translucent walls. And everything that as you guys make your way through this station, you're able to see through the walls enough to see that you can see stars and the rest of the solar system outside if you look carefully. So Fitz runs up to the computer terminal, and you guys can all see immediately out in big green text on the display. It says Tanith integrity field that is holding at 98%. And Fitz says, "Well, we did something. The integrity field was 58% and stable when I left, but it wasn't going back up."
Well, that's good, I think.
Do you think that my smashing of that pylon has to do anything with the increased stability?
Well, if the pylon is somehow responsible for sending energy to Tanith, then less energy being sent to Tanith means the stasis field will be easier to maintain.
Good job.
Perhaps Omar won't explode this time.
Well, we had a lot of fun with that last one. Let's go do another.
He looks around and he's kind of looking out the edges of the station, kind of looking out the, I guess what you'd call windows, since you guys are at the edge. And he notices that the station is still sending a coalesced beam of rainbow-colored energy out into the center of the solar system, and the bottom of the station is still siphoning up a fair amount of energy into the bottom of the station from the atmosphere of the planet below, and then also from Omar nearby. You can see all this rainbow wispy energy kind of just being siphoned off of these heavenly bodies up into the bottom of the station. And then you guys catch him looking around. He just says, "Well, we're still siphoning energy. I'm not sure the nature of this energy, to be honest. All I know is I was sent here to maintain these systems. I specialize in stasis fields and all sorts of alien technology that the Black Spider apparently procured from somewhere. I love technology."
I would like to ask him. Do you think you could find out where pylons are from the screen here?
He looks at you for a sec and thinks for a moment, and he's like, "Well, there's no information on this system about pylons. I didn't even know that they had anything to do with Tanith."
The beams are visible. Should we follow one to its source?
So the bottom of the station is siphoning energy off of the planet. It's kind of in this wispy, like, it's not really a beam. The beam is coming out the top of the station, going out into the center of the solar system to that giant multicolored pyramid structure. It's
Gotcha.
kind of just floating in space between the 3 planets.
Well.
I'm gonna turn into a really large donut shape and like start rolling around.
Okay. So Shenanigans is bored and rolling around as a donut, apparently.
I'm gonna set my hammer up on end so the stick is pointing straight up. I'm gonna grab Shenanigans and then I'm going to try to ring toss him onto the stick of the hammer.
What?
What? You gonna try to ruin your own hammer?
He's trying to throw you over the hammer, and you stuck it into the ground?
No, it's a super heavy hammer, so I just set
Oh, the head's on the ground. I see.
The head's on the ground. The stick is sticking straight up.
All right, so he sets his hammer up. He runs over to use Shenanigans, and then he throws Shenanigans back. I want to. What should we do? Performance or athletics or acrobatics?
Athletics, probably. It's a game.
All right, athletics check then.
All right, hold on just a second. I almost wrote that manually. Let me go to my little box, my special little box. 3 plus 11. So I probably missed that one.
So you throw Shenanigans, and he misses the hammer and wraps around Furlow's head.
I think you missed.
So how much damage does Furlow take?
None. You just land on his head like a donut ring.
Also, I'm a toxic slime too, so.
Oh
No
well,
shit,
yeah.
football.
It definitely starts to sting your shoulders
I
and
quickly
stuff.
toss him off and try to toss him back onto Have a Beer.
Okay, so all right. I want an athletics check from you then.
And can I roll to catch it if he makes it?
Yeah, it's going to depend on his throw first. So let's see what he rolls. Okay, so
Yeah, you missed by a long shot.
Furlow tries to throw Shenanigans, and Shenanigans falls onto the floor just a little bit away from your hammer, kind of near the computer monitor. You just kind of roll like a hubcap on the ground for a second, then before you're just now a flat donut. Shenanigans.
Meanwhile,
Whoa, that was close there, Furlow. Best out of 3.
Meanwhile, I was thinking, and I ask Fitz.
Do you think maybe we should look into that Queen Vera thing? You can find out more information about pylons and stuff.
Well, Queen Vera wasn't very forthcoming. She kind of threw us out.
I mean, I think isn't it kind of obvious that's not actually Queen Vera?
What do you mean?
Didn't that guard tell us that it wasn't actually Queen Vera?
Yeah, but it looked and sounded like Queen Vera.
I mean, do you know of any way that someone could be mimicked?
Not that I'm aware of, but I have been exposed to a lot of technology I've never seen before.
Well, maybe if we put a dress on Fritz, we can pretend like he's the queen.
I don't think I would look very good in a dress, nor would I resemble Queen Vera.
Shenanigans.
Just because of that statement, I'm going to try to toss him back on the hammer.
So you grab him, but this time since you had to get closer, he's a lot closer, and you just hurl him up in the air, and he just kind of rings like a hula hoop around the hammer all the way down to the base.
I am going to absorb the hammer.
All right, so Shenanigans stretches out to cover the entire hammer, and he's now a hammer-shaped slime containing your weapon.
Well, I'm saying maybe we should look into the Queen Vera thing.
You just start to hear from inside Shenanigans kind of a muffled.
I remember that I purchased it and it was a super durable, like corrosion-resistant steel, so I don't think I'm that worried. But you know what? Just for good measure, I'm gonna grab the hammer. My hand's gonna burn a little bit, and I'm just gonna throw it up about 15 feet in the air.
Okay, with
How tall is the
Shenanigans
ceiling?
attached.
Yes.
How tall is the ceiling, though? That's the
Okay,
question.
yeah, I was just gonna say the ceiling on the outer ring is quite tall. So it's probably I'm gonna say it's probably about 15 feet actually. So you would just barely would touch the ceiling and then come back down.
So I'm going to try to
yeah.
stick to the ceiling.
Yeah. Let's see. What should I have you roll?
Lord have mercy.
Probably like well, let's do an athletics check since you kind of have to hold the strength of the hammer. All right, so you throw him up in the air, and he gets just close enough to the ceiling that he stretches out and he just sticks to the ceiling holding your hammer.
You're
I'm going to
fucked.
use my wind spell.
Okay. Go ahead and describe what happens with that spell.
All right, so gust of wind, and it says a line of strong wind, 60 feet long and 10 feet wide, blasts you in a direction you choose for the spell's duration. Each creature must, in its turn in the line, succeed a strength saving throw or be pushed 15 feet away in a direction of the line.
He succeeded.
Oh, good hell!
You're fucked. You're fucked, Avamir.
Yeah, so the wind just kind of, you see the shenanigans in hammer shape attached to the ceiling. He just kind of rocks back and forth like a wind chime, but doesn't move.
Let's see. I'm tempted to throw the gnome at him, but I know I'll get in trouble for that. What else can I do?
I could do my breath weapon and freeze him so that he can't move, and then you could try to do that again.
That might kill him.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I'm tempted to do that too, but we might need him later.
So I'm gonna dangle the hammer down so he can try to jump and get it. But it's gonna swing, so it's gonna be a little bit harder.
Okay, that's awesome. So I'm gonna jump for it and try to grab it.
Okay, roll me an acrobatics check.
All right. So does each so is that 15? Does each number there represent a foot?
So there's rules around jumping, but rather than look them up, I'm just going to say you're able to jump up and grab the very end of the head of your hammer dangling.
All right.
So now you are hanging from the ceiling with shenanigans. Shenanigans, roll a strength saving throw.
Oh, saving throw, that's in Maine, right?
Good
Yeah.
lord.
Oh, nice.
So as I fall down, I'm gonna land on his head.
Is he gonna fall down, or is he just gonna stretch like Gak?
No, he detaches from the ceiling because he can't hold anymore and he's trying to hold on. And you both go falling onto the ground, and you each take 3 bludgeoning damage as you fall.
Oh gosh.
Actually, you take 5, Havabeer. He takes 3 because he lands on top
What?
of you.
Wait, doesn't the slime folk have half bludgeoning damage, or is that
No.
mistaken?
So meanwhile, I'm gonna say
I think we should go look into the Queen Vera thing. She seems nice if we can find the real one.
Do we want to do Queen? Do we want to go after Queen Vera, or do we want to destroy more of the pylons?
Well, we don't know where any other pylons are.
Maybe the queen is a pylon.
No, the Queen is not a pylon. She would have to be a structure for that.
Maybe the Queen could help us find the pylons.
That's a good idea. I'm sure she'll be very willing to help us. We should go
The
now.
real one.
Can we turn shenanigans into a ship now?
No, it's Lulu's turn.
Good call.
I think we can literally just teleport there.
Can you?
It's DM says, "Can you?" That's a good sign.
I don't know, DM, can we?
I mean, I'm interested to hear what Lulu says.
About whether me turning into a ship?
No, I mean, you said you think you can just teleport there.
Yeah.
I mean, the screen back at the lab said something about, what was that planet called again?
Torque?
Torque, yeah. Said something about Torque platform. You just teleport there.
Did I say something like that I mispronounced or something? Because I've only ever read Toral platform.
No, we have to get into Lulu and drive there.
I mean, me and or my character could have also just forgotten or
Okay.
misremembered.
All right, okay. Just making sure.
All right, Fitz. How are we gonna get there?
Fitz just looks at you and shrugs. Well, we know how we did it last time.
And I'm gonna turn to Lulu and I say, "No, I feel like Shenanigans had a great point. I think it is time. I think it is your turn to play ship."
Okay. Well, that thought. The last time that happened was because the station fell apart.
And this time it's because we need to get somewhere, and there's only one way I can think of to get there.
I'm
Man,
gonna
just-
nervously march away and go.
Let's check out the lab.
So,
grapple.
who has the device, the tablet device?
I do.
You do? Okay. So, all right, never mind then. I thought Fitz had it.
I'm going to start pursuing her and say, come back. You have our device and you are our ride. Sakapuno, I need your help with this.
Fitz she shouts, "I can create an airlock!
What? Oh,
Tanith
okay,
doesn't
yes.
have to be destroyed. We can go out an airlock."
Okay.
That sounds like a great
Sakapuno, Furlough, help me out here.
I'm gonna take out my device and look at it while I'm nervously walking away, seeing if there's literally any other options.
So you're looking at the device then, and going through its menus.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just
Sakaputo's gonna start chasing after her.
okay.
Well, I'm not running. I'm just nervously going like, "Hey, let's look over here."
Yeah, and Sakaputo's gonna chase after her.
Do I find anything of note on the tablet device?
So you're
Look
looking
at
through
my-
it, and there's nothing that you haven't already seen on there. There's the menu that says force anomaly event horizon that you have never actually hit yourself. I think.
No.
So that's the only option I think you've not used.
All right. I'm gonna press that button.
Didn't that button kill the ship last time though?
All right,
No.
so you press the button and it just says anomaly stable, but you don't see anything anywhere.
Okay. I think by this point I'm probably get caught up too.
Okay, so who's chasing you? Sakapunto and Havabeer?
Yeah. And possibly Furlough. He didn't give an answer.
Furlough is just kind of standing around watching this. Like,
Okay, so
Dude, you're gay. Furlough. Oh my gosh.
Sakapunto and Havabeer catch up to Lulu, and
I'm gonna
Punch her
grab
out.
one of her, grab one of
No.
her arms. I'm not gonna punch her.
do you resist, Lulu?
Yeah.
Okay, so roll an athletics check, Sakapunto, and you can roll athletics or acrobatics, Lulu.
So I'm gonna yell, "Little, hey! I didn't cry this much when I did it."
By the way, I have advantage on grappling.
Oh,
save.
bad.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Oh shit!
Well done.
Well, let's see if
What?
you crit in resistance.
Oh shit!
Wow, that's a
No.
good roll too. All right, so you fight and Sakapunto you kind of like trying to turn your arm into jello and pull your arm away, and Sakapunto just keeps taking his hands and just keeps grabbing more and more of you, like just holding on to you, just to grapple you there as you try to slime yourself away, and then he
I'm gonna
just
see
kind of
if I can snag the tablet from
he
her.
kind of wraps you up into a ball, like a slime ball, and then just hauls your ass back out here and plops you down on the ground. And
Yeah, while this is happening, I'm gonna see if I can snag the tablet away
Okay.
from Lulu.
all right,
You
roll
definitely can.
roll a sleight. Yeah, roll a sleight of hand check.
No, I would say you definitely can while I'm distracted being grabbed.
Oh, all right. So you reach inside Lulu. You feel around. There's a lot of stuff inside there that you didn't expect.
Okay,
to
while I'm
find.
reaching for it, I'm also gonna see if I can get a few chunks of gold as well.
It's all
Now-
in one bag. It's all in one bag.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you need to roll a. Well, does he need to roll a sleight of hand check for the gold too, or can he just grab the gold? It's up to you, Lulu.
That one. Well, I was saying the tablet because I was already holding it, so it was already outside of myself.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you had. Oh, that's right. You did have it out to hit the button. Okay.
Oh, okay, then yeah, I'm not gonna try to like reach inside of her with my other hand. That would be pretty damn offensive and obvious. So yeah, forget the thing about the
All
gold.
right,
I
so
thought I
you
was reaching
snatch the
inside.
tablet away from her, and
All right,
you see it's got like a little antenna thing on the top of it now.
When I
and
set hold on, when I set Lulu down, I want to tell her. I want to say it's your turn to be the ship.
And then Fitz takes a spike out of his bag and jams it into the Lulu ball.
Wait, can I roll to avoid that?
Yeah. Okay. So he's gonna roll a strength check here, and you can roll strength or acrobatics to resist. Excuse me, athletics or acrobatics. Yeah.
All right. Does this count as a grapple?
I'm just kind of using those rules. I don't know.
All right, because
No,
if
it
it does
doesn't
count as a
count as a grapple because he's trying to stab you. You're not actually trying to reach him. Like you guys aren't wrestling hand to hand.
No, I have advantage both on attempting grapples, and I have advantage on grappling saving throws.
Well, are you trying to
Yeah,
like grab his
stabbing.
hand or what?
You are
you trying to
grappled.
dodge?
You are grappled by Sacapunto currently.
No, she dropped me. He dropped me.
No.
Didn't you?
The last I heard, he packed you into a big ball and carried you into the room. I don't remember hearing you
Yeah,
drop.
and then he set me down and said, "Now it's my turn."
Yeah, I set you down on the ground, so I wasn't still
okay.
holding you.
Okay, so
I'm
You
asking
are-
if him trying to poke me with the device counts as a grapple.
I would say not because he's not really grappling. He's
No,
stabbing you.
you're already grappled, so I don't know what I should roll. I guess just we'll just roll like an attack roll. Okay. And then what's your AC? Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll just roll against your AC.
All right, my AC
There you
is
go.
15. I'm not
Alright.
grappled anymore though. He set me down. I'm just letting you know.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, he definitely hits you with the spike, and it's sticking out of
Shit.
your head now.
I'm looking very visibly nervous, like scared even.
and I'm just gonna start pushing buttons now that the spike's in. I'm like, ooh, what's this button do?
Okay, and so you're pushing buttons on the tablet.
Yeah, I've got the tablet still.
All right, so the menu that's open is the little sweeping menu that's looking for anomalies, and you see one little green dot that's kind of flashing. It says anomaly stable, and it's a little like south of the center of this like sweeping radar field, and so you tap it, and then you just hear a like off in the distance.
Meanwhile, I'm kicking my legs. Like I'm not getting away, but I'm kicking my legs like I'm nervous. Like ah.
was the you turning into a ship, or what was the vision?
Fitz reaches up with like a grabby hands to like asking you for the tablet.
Oh yeah, here, you know what you're doing.
So you give him the tablet. He's like, "All right, let's see." And he pops open the menu, and suddenly he's in a menu you guys have never seen before. And he's tapping out like code, and he writes up this little script and hits this little send button, and the little spike on the top of your head just kind of goes boop 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 boop. Then this electricity washes over you, and suddenly, Lulu, you find yourself, you just like turn into this huge ball, this huge empty like hamster ball, and a little hatch opens out the side with a little ramp, and the rest of you guys can pile inside.
I'm gonna
Cool.
go inside.
Me too.
Okay.
I follow the
Sacapunto
party.
goes in.
All right, so everybody gets inside the USS Lulu.
Meanwhile, just my inner monologue is like,
Thanks, I hate it.
I'm gonna turn to Fitz. Now, before we set out, should I do some durability testing? And I pull out my hammer.
Yeah.
So durability.
Sacapunto's gonna go to try to stop him from attacking the Lulu ship.
And Fitz is like, no, you'll take down the stasis field integrity. This device is tiny. It's not going to hold very much.
Okay, we'll have to do some testing when we get down to surface. All right,
I hope
let's go.
I hope
Alright.
it's at least a lot roomier than in Shenanigans.
He taps out a little more code, it sends out a little signal, and the computer terminal outside beeps. And then all of a sudden, a hole in the floor of Tanith Station forms, and you guys drop off the edge of this, like, because the outer ring is kind of a disc that sticks out from the meat of the structure, and so you kind of drop out into space in the Lulu vessel. And so now you guys are floating in space just beneath Tanith Station. You guys are able to see that now pretty clearly because Lulu's stretched pretty thin, and you can see that the Toral, the planet below, you can clearly see a bunch of energy coalescing from kind of the bottom underside of the planet. It's kind of out of sight, and it's kind of coming around the side of the planet to the equator, and then being siphoned up by Tanith. You can also see another kind of wispy tendril of energy being siphoned from the moon of Omar as it gets closer. And so you can tell that the moon and the station don't appear to be in like a synchronous orbit or anything like that. So the moon seems to only have energy siphoned off of it as the moon gets close to Tanith. And then as it orbits around the planet, it breaks away, and that energy just kind of is piling up on the moon. And then as it comes back around, it kind of, yeah.
How much roomier is it than when this happened with Shenanigans?
Much more.
Okay.
Yeah, Shenanigans
At least
is
there's that.
like
I love
half
that we're
your size.
literally in a circle of Lulu.
Yep. You guys
Pretty
are in,
awesome.
in like this little hamster ball. The floor of the
Is it
hamster ball
clear
is
like a hamster ball?
it's translucent, mostly clear because she's stretched pretty thin, so you can see through it pretty easily.
So we can see.
With a blue tint, yeah.
So Freya's just like looking everywhere, like, "Whoa, this is amazing."
Meanwhile, I'm internally screaming.
I tap the wall, kind of like a pat on the shoulder, and I'm like, "Thanks, Lulu."
I continue internally screaming. Not that anyone can know.
All right, and so Fitz turns to everybody and he just says, "Well, where to? We can go to Torque. We can go to Omar. We can go back down to Toril and navigate to see if we can see a pylon from orbit."
I think more pylon smashing would be fun, but that's just me.
To Taco Bell.
You know, that does raise an interesting question. Is it only Torque that has the pylons?
No, you guys just destroyed one on Toril. That was the one in the Arctic. That was on Toril. You guys have only been on Torque on that first time loop. That was it. Since then, you've been on your home planet.
So wait, then we would know that Torque had a pylon because I destroyed it last time.
Yeah, you guys know there's lots of pylons on Torque because as you came down from orbit down to land, you guys saw a bunch of them on the horizon. That's when Fitz was talking about that Queen Vera had them all constructed.
Fitz, where does most of the mining around here take place?
In orbit?
No, not in orbit. I'm saying if we were to pick a destination down below, are there any places that have a strong mining presence that might manufacture a lot of gold and other precious metals or...
I don't know of any mining operations. I've been working for the Black Spider for so long.
Damn it. Okay. You know what? I don't care where we go. I'm gonna stretch out and take a nap. You guys decide. I'm cool with whatever. And Beer goes to sleep.
Okay, so you go to sleep, and I guess you're trying to take a short rest, and Fitz just says, "Well, it's pretty easy to see that there's at least one other pylon on Toril."
I'm gonna join and take a short rest.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be a long rest by the time we actually reach our destination. But yeah.
Depends on where you go.
Yeah.
So could we see any of the other pylons on Toriel, like from where our vantage point is?
No, but you do note that that Fitz was saying that it looks like there's at least some energy being drawn off of the underside of Toril relative to where you are with Tanith. And so, you know, you could probably conclude from that there's at least a pylon at the opposite pole.
So I'm going to motion towards there, and I'm going to tap Furlough on the shoulder and just nod towards the colors that we see.
Well, where should we go?
Fitz, where do you think we should go? I wake up and say that.
Fitz just frustrated with nobody talking, so he just hits a button on the tablet, and then the sphere starts to move toward the underside of the planet.
Awesome. So
I look at Fitz and I go, "How long do we have till we get there?"
Fitz just says, "Well, we're right here. We don't have to travel through the solar system, so it's probably only take an hour."
All right, I'm gonna take a nap. I fall asleep.
All right, well, so you guys make your way down to the other end of the planet, and as you guys approach, you can see Tanith kind of fades from view behind you, and as you approach, you can clearly see that there's like a swirl of energy being emanated up into the atmosphere, and then it's slowly kind of just making its way around the side of the planet to the equator, and then being siphoned off by Tanith. So, unless anyone objects, Fitz is going to try and navigate down down to where the pylon is.
We can take a short rest now and do that.
Yeah, I don't think Lulu would appreciate it, but you sure can before you land. Because you guys
Let's
haven't
get this show on the
landed
road.
Yet.
No, I'm not sure what you're asking. If I wouldn't mind.
No, you're not going to get a rest because you're stuck in the stasis field. It's not going to count as a rest for you.
Right. I mean, meta here. I don't need a rest anyway.
What is the D12 one? Which one is that?
That's the one right after the D10 and between the D20 and the D20. What are you rolling for?
I used one of my dice to heal myself.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, that was my roll too.
All right.
Okay, so are we going back? Are we starting to enter the atmosphere?
Yeah. Yeah, so you guys are descending through the atmosphere. Lulu, it does not feel very good as the friction of the atmosphere is kind of burning around you, but the stasis field is protecting you from harm. It's just uncomfortable.
Yay, chafing.
As you come down, descending through the atmosphere, you
Thank
guys
God
can
for us. No
come.
one likes chafing.
You come through the cloud of energy, and you guys can see kind of it all swirling down on top of this pylon.
And the shaking wakes me up, yeah?
Yeah, there's be no way to sleep through the descent through the atmosphere.
Awesome. Well, that was nice. So where are we at, guys?
All right, so Fitz just says, he's like, do you guys want me to try and see what we can do for landing on the top of the pylon instead of spending a whole day hiking it?
Good plan.
Sounds good to me.
Good plan.
That's a great
So
plan.
he takes the Lulu sphere and tries to direct her descent. Gravity's kind of starting to take over, so it's a little harder as the energy tendrils that are emanating off of Lulu don't have a lot of force when it comes to a super fast descent through a planetary gravity. But it just manages to pull through. You guys are now kind of hovering just next to this glass sphere. And he's like, "Hold on, Lulu," and then he backs you up like a few feet, and then just like tries to ram you into the sphere.
A little late to ask now, but what happened to all my stuff in me? Is it just sitting around in here?
I never ended up having to explain it, but what I envisioned when this happened with Shenanigans is a little compartment that is formed as part of you, and it's just containing your stuff.
Oh, like under the
sealed?
floor?
Yeah, like under the floor.
Okay.
Yeah, so you are he rams you into the side of the sphere and it puts a crack across the clear sphere, and then he rams it one more time, and the whole thing shatters, and then he lands right on the top of the sphere, and then hits a button, and Lulu, you kind of open up like a flower from the top, just and you kind of coalesce down underneath everybody, and you fall into the top of this pylon. And are able to reform. You're not feeling super great about the whole experience, and everyone else falls on top of you, on top of like these supports. So it's a clear sphere. Think of like a gumball machine, but then there's two brackets that kind of go crisscross, 90-degree angle across the top of this sphere. And then all of you fall on top of this. So I need you all to roll. Let's see, not saving throws. I want everyone to roll an acrobatics check. In fact, here, just let me do it.
So I get so spooked out by this, I use wild shape and turn into a wolf.
Okay. All right, so you turn into a wolf as you're falling?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and let's see. So all of you except for... Oh, no, you got a +8. Okay.
During the journey here, what did that feel like?
Tingly, because of the stasis field. You had plenty of air inside, so everyone had air, including you. And so, yeah, so anyway, everyone's falling into the top of this gumball machine, basically. And Shenanigans, you're the only one that... You turn into a wolf, and then everyone else has managed just to grab one of those brackets. So you're able to kind of lower yourself inside without impact. And then Shenanigans, you kind of fall inside, and you take 5 bludgeoning damage as you hit the ground, and you kind of yelp.
Yeah, did I take any damage from the crashing thing?
No, you didn't. The stasis field protected you. It may have decreased in integrity, but...
When I get down to the ground, I'm gonna go into what you could perceive as the Seinbolk equivalent of the fetal position.
I love it.
I'm gonna lick Lulu's face.
I'm gonna turn away.
Alright, so you guys fall inside, and there's a bunch of computer banks, but the power seems to be out. But the central core, the Spencer sphere, is basically intact, still siphoning energy through its core and up and out of the pylon.
I'd like to note that I'm shivering a bit. I was really afraid of that.
So Sakapuno cracks his knuckles and cracks his neck and walks up to the sphere and says, "It's my turn." And
I'm
goes
gonna
to
look
punch
at
it.
Sakapuno and say, "Match you for it."
All right, roll your damage.
It's still giving me trouble to do that, so I think I'm just gonna do it manually.
Oh, okay, that's fine. All right, so you punch it and it cracks. A big crack goes across the top of it, and it just kind of spider webs this crack all around the sphere, but it still seems to have some energy tendrils inside it. You hit it again?
I
I'm gonna
reach
fight
back with my other hand and I attack it again.
Okay, so this time your hand goes straight through, shatters it. This little puff of energy kind of comes out, emanates out from it. It kind of evaporates into this like room that you guys are in, and then you just kind of and like this energy that was coming up the pedestal up to the sphere, the energy almost falls down the pedestal all the way back down, and then disappears, into the floor. And then suddenly the atmosphere around you guys clears up. There's no more energy swirl above, so you can see the night sky much more clearly. It is now nighttime on I think we're on the 6th day. All right.
That said, do we have to worry about adjusting our rations?
Yeah, so if you haven't eaten a ration today, you probably should, and then the next day you'll want to as well. And you guys are free to do whatever now. You can take a long rest, you can explore, you can go down the pylon.
Does Fritz have like a cane on him? Is that what we're looking at?
Does he have a cane? Oh, it's just a token. He's got a weapon, but he doesn't actually.
I'm gonna start searching this facility for stuff. Like, I don't expect to find a lot of gold here, but you never know.
Before he starts searching, I'm gonna start sniffing around and see if I can smell anyone besides us.
Okay, roll an investigation check. Or does it have? You have a special smell check or something? As you're a wolf, I forget.
I'm not sure. I just figured that I'm a wolf and I can probably smell stuff.
Okay.
I'd like to point out that I'm still just kind of shivering on the ground.
Oh, that 20.
Oh, nice.
All right, so you can definitely tell that no one's been there in a while. Shenanigans. These computers have not been maintained. Most of them are shut down. You guys get the impression from the things you've seen that's not normal. Fitz seems to look pretty concerned. Yeah, so you're pretty positive no one's been here a while. This pylon was constructed and left there to do whatever it does. Javabir, you said you're looking around to see what you can find?
Yep.
Okay, so roll me an investigation check.
Oh, sweet.
Nice. Okay, so you comb the room pretty thoroughly, and then you notice something. You notice that near the hatch where you come in, the metal that forms that like iris shape that I showed you guys last time looks kind of bent away, and there's actually, you can see through it because it's peeled away from the edges, and it looks like there's scratches, like something came through here and just forced its way into this area, but it looks like it was a long time ago. And as you keep looking, you notice that those scratches can be found on some of the consoles, and in the side of one of the computer banks is lodged a rather large looking sword.
Oh, nice. I'm gonna grab the sword.
Okay. So you pick up this sword, and it's got this weird shimmer to it, and it kind of just trickles with a little bit of energy. It looks charged up, and as you grab it, it kind of just like you just feel the energy from it kind of flow over you.
Oh, cool.
By energy, do you mean electricity?
Like, it could be electricity, it could be something else. Like, you don't know. You could just feel this warm tingle of energy kind of surround you.
And how big is the sword? Like, is it a great sword, regular sword? Is it a rapier?
So it's pretty big. It's I don't know if I'd call it. It's like a great sword, probably a pretty heavy two-handed sword. It's got kind of a fancy looking little hilt with a little red jewel in the side of it. And then it's got 3 little skulls just above that jewel right before the blade begins. And it's kind of a silver sword. Everything about it is like this silver, some kind of silver alloy. And then the very bottom of the handle, there's another little red jewel in this little nub at the bottom.
Nice. I'm gonna gosh, I don't even know what to do with this. I just want to fight something. But
so you can tell there's definitely something about it that's unique, but you don't actually know a lot about it yet.
I'm gonna grab it, and I'm gonna take it to Furlough because I know he can like see magic and stuff. So I'm gonna go to Furlough. Hey, Furlough, I just found this, and it feels a little interesting. Like I can feel something coursing through it. What do you see?
Someone who isn't magically attuned. That's interesting. And then I can't go ahead and cast Detect Magic.
Okay, so you cast Detect Magic, and you can instantly see this like blue aura around the weapon, and you are able to tell that this thing has a bunch of charges. You can tell it's been charged up several times, and if you had to guess, that those charges kind of divide evenly into about 9 different charges.
What school of magic?
Whenever you ask that, I don't even fucking know where to see. It just says magic.
I don't. They're in magic. That's like, what kind.
What's a school of magic?
If it's related
The
to
hog
doing
works.
damage with fire, shock, or ice, it's evocation.
It's
Yeah.
Ravenclaw.
And so you know what? I'm just gonna, since you want your ability to be cool, so normally you have to spend a long rest with an item that needs attunement to know more about it and to be able to attune it. But I'm gonna say, since you have Furlough there to help you out, Furlough is able to tell you that this weapon has nine charges in it. And if you use it, it does a fair amount of damage. But if you critically hit something with this sword, and that target has less than 100 hit points, it will instantly kill the creature. It will discharge one of those charges and instantly kill the
Ooh,
creature.
it's a Vorpal Blade.
I'll actually tell you the name too, Furlough. You're able to divine from it that it's called the 9 Lives Stealer.
Ooh.
You've heard about it before.
Basically, this thing will kill 9 bitches if you hit them just right.
All right, tell me a story. Where's it from? Can you tell? What's the I want to hear all about this thing.
I can't tell you where it was crafted. Usually blades like this are fairly old though.
Wow. Can you tell who crafted it? Is it Elvish? Is it Primordial? No offense, Sakapuno, but I'd be amazed if a bugbear built it.
Unfortunately, the blade itself is fairly nondescript. You are right, though. Definitely some good magic in here.
Yeah, each one of those charges will tear the life force from a body if it critically hits. If it doesn't critically hit, it doesn't lose the charge.
All right, and I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna get my leather tools out right now and start crafting a third holster slot to slide this big greatsword into. I am delighted.
So that hole in the ground, is that big enough for me to fit through, or?
Yeah, it is actually, especially as being a slime. Oh, you're a wolf, actually. Probably barely. You could get through it.
I'm gonna go through it and I'm gonna investigate the other side.
Okay, so you drop through it and you fall down the stairs a little bit, because a wolf dropping down onto the staircase is not the most dexterous thing to happen. So you stumble a little bit down the stairs, a couple feet, and then you realize it's completely dark. Do wolves have dark vision?
I don't know.
I don't think they do, but I'm not sure.
I don't think they do.
But then again,
canines don't typically have
D&D doesn't have cats as having dark vision either, which is stupid as hell. I'm just gonna say that you don't have it. I think that makes sense, being a wolf. So it's pretty dark in there. You got a little bit of light coming through behind you, but you can't see much of anything in there.
Alright, I'm gonna sniff around.
You sniff around. You're able to finally catch this very faint scent of whatever creature tore its way inside here.
I'm gonna follow it.
It just goes down the stairs. There's really only one way to go. It's that spiral staircase you guys are used to. That's gonna take you, several hours to traverse.
I'm gonna look up and I'm gonna start barking.
I'm gonna start following him because I want to kill something.
Okay. All right. So, you guys are able to make your way down the staircase. It takes you the better part of the night. By the time you guys get to the bottom, it is morning.
Is everyone going down the stairs?
I think so. I assumed everyone was following.
Yes.
Oh, I was still like in the Seinvolk equivalent of the fetal position, recovering from my experience.
Fitz, as everyone goes through the hatch, as everyone goes through the hatch, Fitz comes up behind you and says, "Lulu, are you okay?"
So has it been 3 hours since I turned into a wolf?
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, then I gotta turn back.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so you are able to turn back into shenanigans pretty easily. Your fur turns all pink and shiny, and then you're back to being a Seinvolk.
My Seinvolk or my a goblin?
Nope, Seinvolk.
Oh, they said Raz. Okay.
Nope,
So then, yeah, if it's the end of the night, then I want to look in all directions at this stair, and if I'm convinced that there's, no other presence, then yeah, I'll take a long rest.
Okay, yeah, you guys didn't find anything. When you get to the bottom, there is a little door that has some scratches on it, but you guys don't see anything, and so it seems pretty safe. Whatever was here a long time ago.
And before I take a long rest, I'm gonna cast the hideous laughter on myself.
You're gonna do what?
I need a good laugh. I'm gonna cast the hideous laughter on myself.
Oh.
Okay. Shenanigans busts out into a fit of laughter on the floor.
Oh gosh. If he's unconscious, does he continue laughing? Because I'm sure it's loud.
No.
No, I don't think he would laugh unconscious.
Okay. Oh, I'm tempted. Be good, Alpha Beer. Be good. All right, then I'm just gonna try to rest through it.
He's got a lot of hit points before he's unconscious.
Oh, okay. That said, I'm gonna try to crack him on the head with the maul.
All
He's
right.
taking a long rest anyway. He'll feel better in the morning.
Roll your attack roll with advantage, and then I'll have you roll your damage.
Oh yeah, that hits. Oh, whoop. So 16 and 19. So I'll
Yeah,
take
you
it to
fucked it
19.
up, but that's fine. All right, so yeah, you definitely hit him. So go ahead and roll your damage. You hitting him with the hammer or your new sword?
No, I don't want to hit him with the new sword because I'm not sure if that kills somebody right off the bat or only kills if I want it to. And as annoying as it is, I don't want to kill him.
I did explain, by the way, it only kills instantly on a crit.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Meaning a 20.
Gotcha. So it's gonna take a while to use those up. So 2d6 plus 4. So let's see. I'm not even gonna bother re-rolling. Oh, sorry, dude. 13.
All right, so you take 13 bludgeoning damage as he smashes you with the hammer, and a laughing shenanigans just kind of sprays all over the area, and then all these little bits of shenanigans come back together and keep laughing.
Oh gosh. So yeah, I'm not gonna try to hit him again because I'm not sure if I can knock just.
All right, so with that, I think we're going to call it. Thanks, everybody, for listening to our latest episode. We will pick it back up again next week, and we'll talk to you then. Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Cheers.
Bye.
With Disadvantage is hosted by our Dungeon Master, Chev, starring Pete Giddy, Dakota, Rainbow Kitten, Mirna, Evil Lord Boris, Bunsen Gyro, Deranged Plague, and sometimes Codeman. Recorded by Chev, editing by DJ Catface. Dungeons & Dragons is the property of Wizards of the Coast. Executive produced by ChevTech.